Hello and welcome to this video on the 2025 Apollo lead generation using AI to find and book ready to buy leads. One of the things I've been exploring lately is Apollo and just leveraging that tool to really be able to um, really extract the right amount of information to be helpful to my business and others. And one of the things that I thought I would share today was just what I'm seeing inside of Apollo with some of the great capabilities that they recently rolled out. I mean, some of this stuff is relatively new. I saw it in their recent summit, and so I just thought I would share that as a part of this video. And so. First of all, just kind of, come back here to Apollo and just, bring that up on the screen. And, some of these things are, as I said, fairly new in terms of capabilities to be able to search and research things. But one of the things that I had somebody tell me recently was that they wanted to be able to go from LinkedIn, so LinkedIn connections as an example, and then from LinkedIn connections to enriched Apollo individuals, and then from those enriched Apollo individuals, back out to real connections. So, what I thought I would start with here as a basic tutorial is, first of all, it's not easy to get all of your data, all of your connections inside of LinkedIn, and purposefully so. I mean, I understand part of this. I also was saying to somebody recently that has a lot of connection with LinkedIn that I just would love to see them come closer to where Apollo is and not be so close to where I guess I could say Facebook is. So yeah, I'd love for this to be like a central kind of place where people go not only to connect with business people, but also to provide solutions and resources and things like that. Certainly, nobody likes spam, but at the same time, whenever you have a problem, why not have a great place where you can go find that solution? And so, in the case of LinkedIn, I feel like there's a lot further that they need to come with that. So, so how do you get your connections? Is where I'm going to start. And so, if you are on LinkedIn and you have a lot of connections, the place where you start is you click on your profile picture, and then you're going to come down here to settings and privacy down here. They changed some of this recently, by the way. If anybody else has tutorials on this, this is going to be pretty current for the end of the year 2025. So hopefully, this stays current for a while. But the thing that you have to click on next is data privacy. So you click on data privacy over here on the left, and then what you want is to click on get a copy of your data. So you're going to click on that button. There used to be a button up here. So if you see older videos that are talking about these kind of topics, the only way you could get them before, or one way that you could get them before, was to say, I want something in particular, and then click on your connections and then request the archive. And all you had to do is go get the archive. The only way to get your connections right now is to come up here and request an archive. And then once you've done that, then you get the archive uh, um, in your email. In a way, you get a link, and then you click a button to download the file, and then you can get the file. Now you only get a certain amount of time where you can gain access to the file. So I mean, it is a limited amount of time that file is available. So once you click on this, there's that. The second part is, if you leave this page up, let's say like a half an hour, and you come back and you click refresh, what'll happen is most likely that link will be right there. And I've noticed that I have access to that link faster than I get the email. Normally I've forgotten about the fact that I clicked on the link, and then like a day later I get the message, hey, that file's available. I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. I got to get that file. So anyway, so you click request an archive here, and then it will give you an archive of that file. So I'm one of the things that that all we all want is that level of access to to our data, and just having that capability to see what, what overall is it that we get in that file. So let me just bring up really quickly for anybody that downloads the file itself. So just wanting to make sure I've got this up. There we go. And so yeah, so this is what you get. I mean, essentially, this is everything, everything, everything. Um, I do have one comment with regards to importing the file into Apollo that I noticed, and I'll show you that. I'm on a Mac, and so it's going to come up in numbers whenever I click on this file instead of Excel. I know I can right click or navigate or whatever. I'm not going to do it though. I'm just going to bring it up this way. So you could see whenever it comes up, there are 3 rows here. So there's notes, this line, and then this sort of blank line. If you're going to import this data anywhere into a CRM, into Apollo, into wherever, you're going to have to clear out those lines, because whatever thing that you have that reads the file, it's going to read that top line that says notes, and it's going to kind of block things. And I don't know that this was done purposefully, but it is a bit of cleanup that you have to do. So you're going to have to come in, you got to clean up the file. So that's the first thing. You got to delete these 3 rows. And so you just, using whatever tool that you have, you just, highlight those 3, click delete. Now all of a sudden first name becomes your first, the very first row up here. And then any sort of data import will work after that. And so, yeah, just thought I would mention it because it was a ridiculous thing. I go to the CSV import inside of Apollo, and unfortunately, it just came back and said, "No, I can't do it." I'm like, that doesn't make any sense. It's like I clicked away from the page and I came back and I, go back in through it again. And lo and behold, it did the same thing. And I was like, well, I just need to go look at the file and, see where that's at. In terms of other things that might be in this file, I don't know if there's anything else that's valuable for people. I really have not spent a lot of time in anything else in any of these sort of data archives. And because of the business that I'm in, we wind up with a few of these because we have clients that essentially don't want to deal with having to do this. So we help them with like a concierge service where we take care of this for people, and we're only looking for this one file. This is the only one I care about. I don't really care about education or company, or I guess that's company follows. So like who follows your company, or maybe it's who this person follows. So it could be either way. But yeah, I mean, I don't really spend a lot of time looking through the files that are in here. But maybe there's something that I should do, because we actually recently created a couple of other enhancement tools where it's like, look, there's data online where you can go essentially click a couple buttons, and then now if you have meetings with people and things like that, there's a bunch of information that we can provide you with, just based on some simple inputs for that. So let's come back here just for a second with regards to Apollo. So then the next step over here is fairly simple. So you're going to click on people. Um, Again, I want to be fairly careful about what I display on the screen. So if I do stop sharing for some reason to lay something over it over the screen, it's primarily because I'm trying to just make sure I'm not sharing email addresses and stuff like that. But look, the very first thing that comes up here is this Apollo AI to find the right contacts. And I honestly think this is amazing, right? So I mean, these are not searches I've entered, by the way. So, who are the leading digital marketing specialists in Chicago, Los Angeles, top marketing and advertising professionals, top talent in health and wellness and fitness industry in Chicago? And so, yeah, I mean it's a pretty interesting and impressive AI tool that they've got, right? And so they've got that. Um, Over here on the right, though, is what we're looking for importing. We're going to come back to the AI tool in a minute. But so you're going to click on import, and then you're going to say CSV. And this is where that file from LinkedIn is going to go. You don't have to download their template. essentially by deleting those top 3 rows and getting to first name and whatever, you're getting to what you need. So you'll be all good. After that, there's one row on the right hand side in this LinkedIn data for the date that you connected with the person on. And I've got some points that I'll make with regards to that date just really quickly. So if you attend events and you guys use that LinkedIn QR code that's available, the one way that I know to trace people back to an event is by using the date that you connected. And so if all of a sudden you know that, let's say a show is from October 1st to October 5th or something, you have the opportunity then to figure out who did I connect with between October 1st and 5th, and most likely those people were at the show. Now, if you have some level of connections that are happening outside of the show, it can be problematic. And so this is one reason why I still am not a huge fan of that QR code, but it is a nifty little feature, right? You go into the LinkedIn app on your phone, you touch on search in the upper right hand corner. There's a little QR code that'll appear. You touch on that, show somebody your phone, and then they'll scan a QR code and it brings up your profile. They can click connect, and then that way you're connected with somebody that's live at a show. But again, if people are randomly connecting with you otherwise, it still can be a problem. So um, I still have a digital business card for that reason, so that I can tie actual contacts made at a show and tag them based on where I am at that point in time. And then that way I know for sure when our connection was made, and I don't have to wonder whether or not if I got some detail wrong. But all of that to say, so what you're going to do whenever you select your CSV file to import it, you're going to ignore that right hand column, and it's going to come up with a warning at some point. Hey, look, you left off one column. Did you mean to do that or something? Just click import and then off you go. You'll be all set to go from there. So that's the first part of this is getting those contacts in there. So once you have them in, I'm going to come back to my screen share in a second. But again, I gotta move something over because of the fact that I'm going to bring up people that I have an actual contact with, and so I want to make sure that I've got their privacy protected as a part of the things that I'm scrolling through as well. So let me just make sure I've got like an empty document here, and we will get right back at the screen share. There we go. Pop that out and then use that as a cover for this part of it. And so yeah, I mean, I know that I've seen other people have to do this as well. Do something similar, I should say. Not necessarily exactly what I'm doing, but do something similar where you're trying to protect people's email addresses and things like that. So like I said, I wanted this over this area of it. So once these people are in here, there are going to be a couple of moves that you have to make. So let's say that you've got your full list, you got all your connections inside of here. You would say in terms of this particular list, you could see that I've got um, uh, uh, this person already, or this list already grouped together. So whenever you import the list, what you do is you want to be able to select just the individuals that you have for that one particular thing. And I just keep flashing these up. So my apologies for anybody that didn't want that information shared. Um, but as a part of this, one of the considerations that you have to do whenever you import these people is you want to make sure that you've got the like a list created as a part of it. So that way you can easily get back to exactly what these things are. Because otherwise, if I didn't have this separated out into a list and I just threw it in, I've got, I don't know, tens of thousands of people in here, and so because of that, it sort of causes an issue. You see up here though, it says show the enrichable records, right? So that's one of the things that that comes up as well as that. And so I could click on this, and then I could say, hey, look, I want their email address, I want their phone number, I want whatever. So that's one of the things I can get. In addition to that part of it, though, what I also can get is their phone number. So if I needed to phone them, I could do that. If they change jobs or anything like that that Apollo happens to have, that might, that could be another thing that they offer as well. And so it depends on the data that you actually need as a part of it. So yeah, I mean that's really a big part of this is getting to that level of capability, and just trying to make sure that you've that you've got a way to get to what it is that you need, whether it's the phone number or what have you. So I'm just again rearranging my screen to try and make sure I do this right. So on the whenever you think about the way that we could do this, so you click on research with AI, I can select all of these leads, right? So I could say, hey, look, I want all of these people. And as a part of this, maybe I want, all of, absolutely all of them. So I have to go to all, 2,648 of them. I select apply. And then I am not able to do this without like putting up their email addresses, and it bothers me. Like I just cannot mask that one thing. Um, so why don't I do this? I'm going to wonder if this would work. I would think so. I'm going to try one other thing to see if I can't move the information I don't want on the screen off. There you go. That works better. Ah, much better. Okay. So here we go. This is much, much, much better. So when I think about the way that I would sort of filter through things and make sure that I've got the right level of um, attention here in terms of the stuff that I want, I've selected all of the people that I want, right? So I have a lot of options in here, by the way, that you could see. I got enrich. So look, if I do the drop down, I want emails, I want phone numbers. Enrich, that they did it, had a job change, whatever. So there's that, all of that. I can export the list, so I can send it back out to my CRM. I could do a lot of different things. If you have Pipedrive or Salesforce or HubSpot, or I'm not sure what Greenhouse is, um, you can use that. For anybody that's seen any of the other videos that I've created, I I am a huge fan of High Level, and so that means that I've got to manually export these things and put it back into High Level if that's what I want to do. And so yeah, I mean, it just causes one additional step that some people might not have to go through if you don't have High Level. Um, so then after I've got that, now I could say, hey, look, I want to um, uh, start with a custom template. I want to run a custom AI prompt. I want to generate an AI formula. So if there's something where I want to calculate something out of here, I can do that as well, and maybe use data to extract the things that I want. If I click on start with a template, it brings up all of these things: enrich email addresses, enrich phone numbers, um, research and evaluate company for fit. That might be actually interesting. I actually just might try that here, and I haven't tried it before. So that would be a new thing that we would do. Confirm decision maker, create a personalized email with a PS line. I have tried something similar to that. Summarize the company news, um, identify relevant job openings, competitors, professional posts, personalized email. So build a highly personalized email on your target contacts professional. background and company description. I mean, honestly, there's just so much that you could do. But here's the thing with this particular list that most people wouldn't know. Um, if based on this particular need, right? One of the things that I needed to extract was the whole idea of um, how many of these people are consultants in this list, right? So I know that there's a way that I can extract some portion of that, but what I want to do here is I want to enter in a prompt that says, "Hey, I want to find everybody in this list that is a consultant and um, that lives um, in the United States." I think those two things, because I see the United Kingdom right at the very top for this one gentleman. So I'll probably want to make sure I extract that person out of the list. And so I'm going to use my Whisper Sync here to fill in the prompt. I want to try and find all of the consultants that are in this list. What I really want to hone in on are consultants that are in the United States only. And if these consultants focus on ERP, I would like an additional tag added to them as well. So I think that should do it. Um, and then down here, I could click generate and preview. So now what it's going to do, thankfully, is it's going to improve my prompt. So it's going to take my prompt and then like create another one. We could not find any contact list names, consultants or, and so you can see it struggled with that. Fine. I want to try and find all of the consultants that are in this list. What I really want to hone in on are consultants that are in the United States. And so I'm actually going to try this again and see if it can generate the prompt. Yeah. So it looks to me like it's struggling with the like consultants and then consultants or. So that's the reason why it's struggling. Let me just try all the consultants that are in this list. Let's just try that first part and see how it does. Maybe I've overcomplicated it, which is something I occasionally do. After the nice thing is after this thing is done, yeah, include titles that are consultant. That seems makes sense. So let's do that. And now it's gone through, and you can see all these job titles are now consultant, consultant, consultant. I've only got out of this list how many total? Yeah, so I only wanted the ones though that were in this Danny connections list. So I only wanted consultants that were here. So I've refiltered this left-hand panel back down to that. And so now I've got all of these consultants. And again, apologies on the email addresses. So moving those off, we will edit the video and hopefully it doesn't get taken down. But essentially, um, you could see that this list is U.S. Centered. I don't see anybody from the or from outside the United States in here. I have 383 of them, and yeah, I mean, there's quite a few that then I could go through that are consultants. Now, will all these consultants be relevant? Probably not. But again, if you want to filter a list, target a list, and make that list valuable, um, this is a great way. So now let's just pick off Robert up here. Not really familiar with Robert, but we're going to use him as my example. And I want to try one of these templates because to be honest, I mean, improve your targeting, generate a message, personalize your outreach. So let's do the generate a message. And there was one about creating a hyper competitive, um, here, this one, write a custom email based on open job posting. No. Build a highly personalized email based on your target contact's professional background and company description. So let's try that. And I'm going to apply this one here. And So you see on this side, right? It's sort of writing, in the middle, and on the right hand side, it's saying build a highly personalized email. Blah blah blah. Here's the multi-step. Generate the personalized email. And so let's see. Uh, Reasoning for subject line, section, email content analysis, the core subject line breakdown, and then the subject line creates intrigue, blah, blah, blah. So I'm going to click save and run. Is the next step. And it looks to me like it's having an issue of some sort. So it says save and run one selected row, 2 credits, run on the first 10 rows, save and run on 25 rows. I only want to do that first row. I mean, that's the one I did. So I want to see for him, how does this pan out, right? How does the email come over? And so let's see, filter personalized messaging used on insights. This column name is also now available. That's nice. Got it. Generate an email. The subject 730 has been created. Apply as a filter. I hope that that's not hope that doesn't mean that it's done 7,000 lines. That would be a really bummer, to use all of that. But again, part of live build and live demonstration here. Um, Generate a personalized email. Oh, okay. So it's saying there's all of these where I can do it. Generate an email subject line, and I can, yeah. So they've added 2 columns because I clicked on that one template, and they still are not. It still didn't run the one that I wanted. So again, I don't know, overall why it didn't do that, why it didn't pick off the one person that I had selected before, but it looks to me like I have the opportunity to run it here. I'll go ahead and run it so it's demonstrated here. So generate an email subject line and then generate a personalized email. Uh, so, hi, Barry. Digital marketing at LinkedIn demands constant innovation with platforms evolving rapidly. Maintaining audience engagement can be challenging for consultants like yourself. D3 Digital Media Marketing provides targeted, data driven strategies to help professionals precisely track and amplify digital performance. Our approach transforms raw metrics into actionable insights. True. Would you be open to a 15-minute conversation? I don't do 15-minute calls, but that's one edit. About optimizing your current digital marketing approach. I'd love to share some specific strategies tailored to your link to tailored for LinkedIn consultants. I mean, so it thinks he is a LinkedIn consultant, and that's not true. So that part is a bit off. LinkedIn marketing metrics, digital performance might not be a bad subject line. I don't really think that this is the right kind of I don't think that this is the right kind of person. I do see the issue, though, is the following. So rather than going back to the company, what it's doing is it's taking the email address, and if the email address is not correct, and for this individual, it's off. So because of that, it um, it has a problem in the email. So let's give it another shot. I mean, I'm totally willing to try it again. Enrichment available, it says. Click to view the details and apply the enrichment. So let's see what we've got available here for this individual. Not exactly sure. And again, I don't want to keep putting up email addresses, so I'm going to check. They're a change management consultant. That's what this person is, and that was the enrichment that was available. I just scrolled to the left and then back. So let's take a look at what happens now if this person, again, it's going to take a look at this person's company based on their company email address. Is how it's going to get to that level of information. And so what I want to see is one that actually works, right? Hi, Brian. Consulting firms often struggle to differentiate their brand in a competitive digital landscape. At D3, we specialize in data driven marketing strategies that transform how professional services communicate, how professional services communicate their unique value. Our targeted approach helps firms like Cadence amplify visibility, attract high quality leads, and showcase experience through strategic digital positioning. We turn complex professional narratives into compelling audience engagement. Would you be open to a 15-minute conversation about elevating consulting's digital presence? It's not bad. That's what I would say. I mean, I would, I honestly, a lot of these things, whenever you read these, I sort of, um, am really critical of the stuff that's coming through, and unfortunately for this, I mean, I still feel like it's way too spammy. And my guess is a lot of people are just going to click on spam instead of really considering um, in the background the possibilities of um what this could do, right? So there's some other tools that I personally like a little bit better. On the cold email side, I mean, honestly, I still think Instantly has really good tool there. Salesforge is another one that does cold email really well, and they write emails exceptionally well. I mean, these tools are ones that I've seen, and they do an excellent job. I'm trying again to see if I can run the subject line just because I thought that would be an interesting thing. So Cadence Consulting. So this, obviously this person's business, digital strategy, marketing reach. Not bad. I mean, if you started with digital strategy, marketing reach, dash, Cadence Consulting, or pipe, Cadence Consulting, you might actually get somebody's attention in that first little bit. If they're really struggling and getting attention, there's an opportunity here to kind of, again, pull them in and get them to see the fact that there's a real benefit in us connecting. So there's that. Um, so I mean, honestly, I saw these tools. I looked at it and was really amazed at some of the frontline things that you could actually do, with their capability up front. And with that, I thought I would, heck, we should just have a quick session, where I bring up these tools, and I thought it would be valuable. So with that. Uh, hopefully you've gotten a lot of value out of this video. If you have, there's a couple of different things that you should check out. So number one, I have a free community on School. In that free community, we talk a lot about using content and trying to get people to a point of converting to your solution and getting more visibility. And the second thing is I have a paid community where we have a mastermind where we go a lot deeper and spend a lot more time on real prepared topics. And so we'll go a lot deeper and explore exactly where a business is, where the gaps are, how content can actually help to draw people into you, and then using some of the greatest capabilities on the digital marketing side to help businesses with that. So if that's at all of interest, please feel free to check that out as well. But the link to both communities will be under this video after it's published. Thanks a lot for joining. I appreciate it.